there, you amazing people. Welcome to Love Life Lol by Liah. This is Liah and I hope you're having an awesome day. If in case you're new to this channel, just a quick intro about what L3 stands for. We stand for unrevealing, unhiding, call it whatever you want, the raw, the unspoken side of life as it happens, if I may say. We stand for and we talk about the ugly, the beautiful truth of what we call as reality. But trust me, that's not it, you guys. We also talk about the fun, the quirky, the crazy stuff. And if you relate to any of these things, if you are as weird as I am, stick around and you're gonna love this journey. Today we're gonna talk about accidental bullying and healthy boundaries. The whole concept behind the accidental or unintentional bullying is that possibly the person does not realize what they're doing, or they might not mean to bully someone, or they may think there isn't anything wrong with their behavior because come on, they're having just a bit of fun or they're just being funny. But to the other person, it is wrong. And any behavior that makes someone feel hurt or sad or for that matter alone or worried or even anxious is bullying. So when I say accidental bullying, what does it include? To name a few, it includes, let's say, you rolling your eyes when someone says something that you disagree with, or laughing when others make a joke about another person, or calling people names and if they ask you to stop doing that and you don't because you think it's funny. To be honest, this happens a lot with women when people start calling them, let's say, babe, baby, honey, darling, like for no reason. And this is where you need to make sure that you do not call people by names that are not appropriate for the relationship that you share with them. Now coming to how do we stop this behavior of ours? How do we stop being an unintentional bully? It is really important we remain self-aware and mindful and call ourselves out on any behavior that could be impacting someone's well-being or someone's happiness. We need to make sure we do not repeat it and of course apologize for our behavior. And this is where maintaining healthy boundaries comes in. A lot of people that I know have the wrong idea about what healthy boundaries are supposed to be like. And they start believing that they already have good boundaries when in reality they have brick walls. They literally live in shells. And then they think that boundaries are unkind. We all have limits and we all experience violation to our limits. Maintaining healthy boundaries means taking responsibility of your own actions and emotions while not taking responsibility for the actions and emotions of others. And this is really important for us to understand that you need to know what you are doing, what you're saying and how you're behaving, but somebody else's behavior and what they speak and what they do is not your responsibility. So in this episode, we're going to talk about 6 boundaries that we deserve to have in place and what they might look like in practice. To start with, we're going to talk about physical boundaries. Well, physical boundary violations feel like receiving inappropriate or unwanted touch, or having someone come into your personal space in a way that is uncomfortable, like entering your room without your permission, for example. Physical boundary violations can vary on a spectrum from mild to severe, and we have seen the most severe violation result in serious physical abuse and neglect. The best thing to do here is to let the people know that you don't want to be touched or that you need more space, and of course, being assertive when you say that. The second on the list is emotional boundaries. Emotional boundaries are all about respecting and honoring your feelings and energy. And that means recognizing how much emotional energy you are capable of taking in and giving out as well. It means knowing when to share and when not to share. And of course, limiting emotional sharing with people who respond in a bad way. Respecting emotional boundaries also means validating the feelings of others, of course, and making sure that you respect their ability to take in emotional information. So let's say someone is not emotionally as strong as you are or as strong as somebody else is, and they don't have the capability of taking in all of your emotional information that you want to share with them. Do not overload them. You need to make sure that you do not cross that boundary that kind of overloads the other person. Some of the violations I would want to highlight here are dismissing and criticizing people's feelings and asking questions that are not appropriate for the relationship that you share with that person. Another emotional boundary violation is reading or going through their personal information, assuming we know how other people feel, because we do that a lot many times. Telling other people how they feel. People already know what they're feeling, and if they're trying to tell you what they're feeling, instead of respecting those feelings, some of the people out there, they do start telling people how they feel or how they should be feeling. And then again, emotionally dumping on people without their permission. You need to make sure that the person is ready to receive the information that you want to share with them. If they are not, then do not go ahead with this. The third one on our list is time boundaries. We all know that time is valuable, and it is important to keep a track of how we utilize it. Setting time boundaries is incredibly important, especially at work and home and when we socialize in general. And how do you maintain your time boundaries? For that, you need to be understanding your priorities and setting aside enough time for everything important in your life, and that too without overcommitting, because we tend to overcommit a lot many times. We do make promises that we cannot fulfill. So we need to make sure that we are not overcommitting, and we need to make sure that we are, setting aside enough time for each and everything that is important to us. When you understand your priorities, it is much easier to limit the amount of time that you're giving to other people. To highlight a few of the violated time boundaries, to start with, it happens a lot at workplaces. Another example of violated time boundaries is keeping people in conversations or on tasks for longer than we told them we would, and showing up late, let's say, or cancelling on people because we overcommitted. You cannot cancel on people 5 minutes before you're meeting them or 5 minutes before you have committed on something. There's another thing that happens a lot, and that is contacting, people when they said that they wouldn't be available. Let's say we are not available for work on weekends, but then there are some of the bosses who try to contact you and ask you to do just a bit of work. This won't take long, but just go ahead and do it. And that is violating your time boundaries, because you need to separate your work life from your personal life. The fourth one on our list is healthy sexual boundaries. To maintain healthy sexual boundaries, you need to make sure that you look into the consent, the agreement, the respect, of course, and the understanding of preferences and privacy of your partner. There are a few of the sexual boundary violations that I would like to include in here. Sulking or getting angry if someone doesn't want to get involved with you physically. There are many cases that I have seen where this has been happening. Not asking for consent, even if it's for the smallest of things. We need to ask for consent. Unwanted sexual comments. Then there is catcalling, because you make the other person feel uncomfortable and disrespected. There's another thing that I would want to highlight here, and that is criticizing other people's sexual preferences. Other people's sexual preferences are none of our business. We do not need to get involved into that conversation until and unless that person initiates that conversation and you're comfortable with it. If someone initiates that conversation and you're not comfortable with it, you need to tell them that they need to stop and you do not want to continue this conversation. The fifth one on our list is intellectual boundaries. And when we talk about intellectual boundaries, we refer to the thoughts, the ideas, and the curiosity of a person. And these boundaries can be violated when your thoughts and your curiosities are shut down, dismissed, or belittled the moment you start speaking them out. Respectfulness and willingness to understand ideas, the curiosity, and your opinions is really important here. One important thing I would like to highlight here is considering whether or not it is a good time to talk about something. Because it is also important to learn to recognize the difference between healthy and unhealthy discussions. If someone is sharing an opinion that is inherently harmful, let's say people are being racist or sexist or homophobic, you need to let the other person know that you cannot tolerate that kind of talk. And to be honest, you do not need to have that intellectual discussion with someone who is violating you or other people for that matter. The sixth one and the last one on our list is material boundaries. And when I say material boundaries, it refers to items and possessions like your home, your car, your clothing, your jewelry, your furniture, your money, and the list goes on and on and on. It is really important for people around you to understand what you can and what you cannot share with them. How you expect them to return the product or the item that they have asked you for at the first place, and how they need to take care of your things. So these were the 6 boundaries that I wanted to share with you guys in this episode. Now to end it, I would like to say that each one of us have our limits. We need to be strong enough to let people know when and where they are violating our boundaries and being inappropriate to us. That's all for today, guys. If you like this episode, please drop in a like and share with your friends. If you're new to my channel, please do subscribe to Love Life LOL by Liah and be a part of our amazing L3 community. You can find us on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and the list goes on and on and on. If you got something you want me to talk about or you want to be a part of the show, you can drop me a message on Instagram. My Instagram handle is given in the description, so yeah, do check it out. And thank you for listening in. I'll see you next week, same day, same time. Till then, this is Liah signing off.